Hello and welcome back to Cars of Glasgow. You join me inside the 2023 Lexus RZ 450e fully electric EV by Lexus. So today we're going to be talking a driving portion. So what's the Lexus RZ like behind the wheel? Well, we're currently about to join the motorway and let's give it a little bit of foot down and you get an instant torque and using double chins, that's amazing. So pull the indicator out. This car has got a host of sensors and things that want to beep at you all the time, first thing. But it's very quick. 0 to 60 is an acclaimed 5.6 seconds. I can believe that, it does feel fast. Torque is instantaneous. The car does use a 71.4 kilowatt battery. However, I believe, from what I understand, is 64 kilowatt of that is actually usable for every day. This car is kind of in a weird size because it sits between the NX, which is the kind of small to medium size Lexus based on the RAV4, and the RX, which is the largest offering here in the UK, which is technically mid-size if you're in the States or elsewhere in the world. So this sits in between there. In price as well, because it starts about £64,000. This particular model being the Takumi is just around the £76,000 mark, which gives you all the goodies like your Mark Levinson sound system, this sunroof, the touch of a button you can go transparent, which I love. I think that's really cool and really novel, and I'd probably buy it for that. As you can see, this particular one's fitted with this lovely interior. It's kind of like a tan with black trim. So you're going to be wondering about EVs straight off the bat. Let's ask. It does use CCS charging, which means you can take it to pretty much any supercharger or fast charging network. I don't know if it's Ionity, Instavolt, whatever those brands may be. I have used them, experienced them to various degrees of success, but it's good. Like, I just plug it in. It's the same as, like, there was a Tesla Model 3 in front of me the last time I charged this. There was a Mercedes EQA and a Polestar 2. So they're all using the same kind of plug outlet, which is handy because you're not going to be left stranded wondering what kind of crazy cables am I using. But the car also does come with cables that you can plug in as well, and a home 3-pin charger as well. If you do use a 150 watt kilowatt hour battery, you can get a fast charge in about 30-40 minutes, but at home you're going to be looking about 11 hours, something like that, to charge. I did have it on a 3-pin socket at home and it did say 22 hours to full charge. I think I had about 35 miles left in the range in the tank. Speaking of tank range, this car does claim around 200 miles. Realistically, you're probably going to see high 170s, maybe 180 miles. There is a mode in here that you can switch. It's called range. It turns all the air off, the heat and cooled seats off, which I'm currently in. And it's good because you get more range in the battery, but in the day when it's at 19 degrees, it's quite stuffy. But you are getting more range in the battery of the car, which is a handy feature if you're looking for that, I guess, or you're doing it tootling around town, you can have the windows down perhaps. So as I mentioned, this car's pretty quick. It does boast about 308 brake horsepower claimed. It's definitely got enough power to pull its own weight when you're out and around in town, overtaking maybe a slow tractor or a bus on the motorways. And because these are quite new, this is one of the first ones in Scotland, it does pull heads. Like, I have seen quite a few people look at it. Aesthetically wise, I like the rear better than the front. I think the front's quite smooth and round. I guess that's for aerodynamics. It's quite low, and the back's very aggressive with the fins, the big bar light. I think the rear end looks like a 10 out of 10 drawing. It's fantastic. Side profile is really interesting because it starts off looking like a car, and the back end's quite high up and large. And it's got a very unusual side kind of profile, but I like it. It's different. It doesn't look like a Lexus to me from the side, but it doesn't look like anything else that I've really seen on the road. So kudos to that. Like, it does look different and unique from the side. Driving wise, just drives like pretty much all these other mid-size SUVs. Soft, comfortable, especially the electric ones. It is a little bit more comfortable, I would say, than the Tesla Model Y that I drove. This does feel a little bit more damp from the road. You can probably hear a little bit of road noise now on the motorway. There's no engine noise or anything to cover up that, so you're just going to hear the road come through. But you do have this lovely plush interior, as I mentioned previously, for the seats, and it just feels like inside a luxury handbag. That's what I feel like. I'm in my mum's luxury handbag. That's what it feels like. Just, you're sitting inside that. Yeah, the build quality feels quite solid. It does have a large central touchscreen that controls things like your radio, your sat nav, it's got Apple CarPlay, etc. there. But we also have an instrument gauge in front of you and a heads-up display. So it does feel quite traditional to an extent, with a blend of like futuristic Lexus EV-ification on it all. I do like we've got the fact that we mentioned heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel. We've also got little rotary knobs with little numbers inside them tells you the speed, and this person just pulled out in front of me. Fantastic Kia driver. And at least we've got the safety system here, and the beeps and gongs. It maybe takes one to that segue of what these cars can do. I'm just going to pull in up here. The traffic life. So in conclusion, what do I think of the Lexus RZ? Well, it's got a lot of competitors. It's got things like the Kia EV6, Hyundai Ioniq 5, and the kind of less premium brands, and even from BMW and Audi, it competes with things like the Audi e-tron, Q8 e-tron, BMW iX3, or maybe the iX, because the pricing of it is between 64 and high 70s. So you've kind of got that weird quasi in the middle feel. In terms of size and price. Build quality is superb. It's worth noting it is about 4.8 metres in length, so it is larger than the Toyota BZ4X it's based on, but it's about similar size to the Audi Q8 e-tron. So it's, yeah, you're in that realm of size of car. It's not quite 5 metre club, but it is large enough. And yeah, I like it. I like what Lexus offer. Customer service inside Lexus dealerships, I've always had a fantastic experience regardless of what car I've owned, and it's worthwhile noting, thanks to Lexus Glasgow for allowing me to film this Lexus, because this is their Lexus RZ. They've been really generous to allow me to film this car of theirs. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel below, and I'll see you next video. Ciao.